What would happen after the escort finished on you? Sean would want it put on his body in the next room? What? Did you do that? I did. Where? Usually on his nipples. Did you want to do that? No. What? Did it? Did it? You wanted the next man juice on your nipples? All right. The dude asked her, how old are you? 38. What is your work? Musician and entertainer. How long were you with Sean? 10 years. Did you get in arguments? Yes, it will result in violence. Dragging. What else did he do? Stomp me in the head if I was down. How frequently was he violent? Too frequently. I would get black eyes and bruises. Let me show you a video. So LA hotel elevator lobby shown. Where is this? The Intercontinental in Los Angeles. It was after a freak off. What does that entail? The hiring of an escort, setting it up. How did you feel when he first asked for it? Confused, nervous. I wanted to make him happy. Did you agree to one when he first proposed one? Yes. Then there were more. It wasn't something I wanted to do, at least not that frequently. I didn't know what no could turn into. What do you mean? Making him angry. What were you afraid would happen if you said no? Through time, he had blackmail materials. What did you give the government? Laptops. I've handed up a GXB. Do you recognize it? Yes, I reviewed this drive. It has communication and documents pertaining to Mr. Combs. Did you review photos in it? Yes. What's the photos? Me in 2024 with Carrie Morgan. When did you sign with Bad Boy Records? 2006. It was a 10 album deal. That's crazy. All right. Did you release any after late 2006? No. Who's in this photo? Kim Porter, she was Sean's ex before me and the mother of his children. Where did you celebrate your birthday in this photo? In Las Vegas. Carrie Morgan was there too. We are out on his patio on my 21st birthday. Being amazed. What happened then? Sean kissed me in the bathroom. I ran back to my hotel. I told Carrie. When you got back to New York, yes, I visited him in the Trump Hotel in Columbus Circle. His apartment was being renovated. What were you going with your music career? Trying to come up with a concept. Sean called all of the shots. What is the age difference between you and Sean? 17 years. How did you feel when Sean invited you to hotels? Nervous, excitement. We're going to talk about music. He introduced me to oral sex. I didn't understand it. Oh, okay. That's crazy. Did you visit Sean in Miami? Yes. I went with Carrie Morgan and Dallas Austin. What did you and Sean do together? Sexual intercourse. He gave me blue dolphin ecstasy on a boat. Had you once before taken ecstasy unintentionally? Yes. Big point right there. Big point right there. She's saying that she took it before unintentionally. Okay. How did you take ecstasy unintentionally? It was in a Gatorade. When you took it intentionally with Sean, how did it feel? Like rolling. At the time, what did you think? That we were spending a lot of time together. I thought we were monogamous. Wasn't made public. No, I was his artist also. His family, his children. Who was linked to him publicly? Kim Porter. How did Sean treat you at this time? We had fun. What was his lifestyle like? He had all these assistants. He could get things done. He traveled quite a bit. What's this photo? So Sean and I at a strip club in New York, like 2007 or 2008, Halloween. So how do Sean's moves vary day to day? When it swung, could you describe it? Anger, zoning out. How did it impact you? Greatly. The next thing I knew, I was getting hit in the face. There were also psychological abuse. He'd tell me to watch my mouth, change my face. So how would he keep tabs on you? We didn't live far apart. He sent security to come find me. Or a trusted assistant. Like who? David James, Christina Corin. Okay. So was your relationship exclusive? No. Did you see other men? Yes. Did Sean see other women? Yes. He said, I am Puff Daddy. I was insanely jealous. Okay. So now she's admitted to being jealous. Okay. The defense, they admitted that Puff was a piece of shit. The prosecution got Cassie over here admitting that she was jealous. All right. So let's continue. Did you move to LA with him? Yes. He wanted to be close to his kids who were there. Where did you live in LA? The address. How tall was the building? No more than 17 floors. Where did Sean live? 200 South Mapleton. Sean would use a golf cart to get back and forth. All right, so who paid your rent in LA? Sean, except when I had the house in Studio City. Why did you pay then? I could afford it then, and I wanted to have some control. It was accepted by home. Sean, okay. How many songs did you write while with Sean? Hundreds. Most were never released. Some got leaked on the internet, some on mixtapes. How many albums on your deal were not released? 9. Did you get paid for them? No. The freak-offs became a job. There was no time to do anything else but to do them, then try to recover. Okay. How much time in your week would freak-offs take? The longest was 4 days. Significant periods of time. A freak-off for 4 days? God damn. Okay. That's when the judge said we're going to take a break. 4 days of fight. That's insane, man. I'm talking about Gucci had to be looking like roast beef. Me had to be tender as hell. Tender to the touch. How? Gotta be on hella drugs for that. Okay, so they come back. Okay, so they asked her, who was your manager at Bad Boy Records? James Cruz. What did he tell you? That he was managing me with one hand tied behind his back. He had to check everything with Sean. Okay, so how did you make money if your records weren't being released? I did hosting parties when Sean approved them. Okay, what comments did Sean make about your physical appearance? That I look too Mexican with my hair like that? How did he like your nails? White, fresh tip. Hair, it varied. I shaved my head in 2009. Your body. He told me to work out, to prepare for the freak-offs. I'm sorry, that was I shouldn't laugh at that, but okay. How did you feel about his comments? It varied. What else did Sean pay for? Cars? Did he give you cash? Yes, but he would take things away depending on how he felt. What else would he take away? My self-confidence. What would take things away? Who would take things away? Staff. I assume staff. Objection. Jury would discard their last answer. So, who took your laptop and phone? Security. How long would they be going for? However long I was being punished for, okay? All right, look at that terminology, punished, okay? How often were you in contact with Sean's staff? Daily. Who are in these photos? So it's Christina Carm and Miss Fletcher, okay? So what did you call Miss Carm? KK, okay? And who's this? D-Rock, he was Sean's security. So how frequently were you in Sean's residences? All the time. And did they all have safes? Yes. What did you observe in them? Cash, jewelry, cameras and videotapes, guns in New York, LA, and Miami, and Alpine, New Jersey, okay? Do you recall an incident between Sean and Suge Knight? Ventura, yes, we were having a freak off in LA. D-Rock came in and said Suge was down at a dinner. Sean drove over there. What was your reaction? I cried. I said, don't do something stupid. Oh shit. So you want to go slide on Suge Knight? Yeah. Got some hip hop history in this shit a little bit, huh? Okay. Were you ever handed a gun? Yes, we were going to a club in downtown LA. We taking mushrooms. I was high. I was told to put the gun in my bag. I was freaking out. Oh, so you did her like J-Lo too. Okay, so who was present? A driver, security, and Sean. Another time I saw them get dressed and grab guns and leave in an SUV. How long were they going? Ventura, 30 or 40 minutes. So let me switch topics, okay? How soon into the relationship did Sean mention voyeurism to you? So first 6 months or a year. How old were you? 22. Why did you agree to try a freak off? Good question. I wanted to make him happy. Where was the first freak off? One of his homes in Los Angeles. So 2A627. Who is this? The first escort. Do you know his name? No. Okay. I'll call him the first escort. Were you aware he was paid? Yes, to dance and to have intercourse with me. What drugs did you take? Ecstasy and alcohol before things started. Okay, so did you disguise your appearance? Sean said we would disguise ourselves. I wore a masquerade mask. What was a session in a freak off? Until the escort finished. How many sessions with the first escort? At least 2. Okay. So how did you feel? I was high, so I didn't feel much. Dirty and confusion, and that he was happy with me. Why did you feel you couldn't say no? I didn't want to make him angry or upset after he shared this part of himself with me. So she felt like he was being vulnerable, being a little cuck, and she wanted to please him, I guess. Okay. How frequent did the freak offs become? Weekly for a consistent amount of years. When was your last one? 2017, 2018. So how long were you awake during the freak offs? I never slept. I took drugs, ecstasy, and Molly, cocaine. So 4 days of being awake. That's insane. Whew. Okay, do you recall all of the freak offs? That would be impossible. Did you want to stop? Yes, I was humiliated. I didn't have those words then. I couldn't talk to anyone about it. Did you tell him he didn't want to? Yes, I brought it up gently. I didn't want him to just do it with someone else. Were you able to express your concerns to him? Objection leading. Rephrase. Why would you talk to him gently? I didn't want him to be angry. So what is this? An email between me and Sean. What did you call him? Pop pop. Why? He asked me what I called my grandfather. I did it, but now I think it was disrespectful. That's crazy. Like, you ain't even ask like what you call. You ain't even want to be called daddy. You want to be called what you called the granddaddy. This is a sick Negro. Hell wrong with buddy. All right, so what did you write? I already need to fuck. Okay. Why did you write that? Because I wanted to be with him. I'll read your messages. You read yours. Okay. You don't want to do anymore? I'm so predictable. What did you think this meant? That he knew I didn't want to do freak offs anymore, but then I backpedaled. Why? To not make him angry. He could be violent. Where's you get your outfit? Pleasure chest elsewhere. Did you get piercings? Yes, Sean came with me. Which of his homes did you have freak outs in? Miami, New York. What other homes? My homes, all but Studio City. In what other cities? Atlanta, Ibiza. Okay. So now they're trying to establish that she's going to different cities to have the freak offs. Okay? So in what hotels in New York did you have freak offs? The Trump and Gramercy. It's Continental, 44th Street. Yes. Elsewhere, the Mandarin, Oriental, Fontainebleau. What names were used? Jackie Star. I use Frank Black. Okay. So what supplies for freak offs? Astroglide, baby oil, and condoms. Who brought the supplies? Security, Sean's assistants. Which brand of baby oil? Johnson's. How was it used? Sean says you need to be glistening. Okay. All right. So they're trying to establish that the assistants are setting up the rooms for the freak offs, so they're part of the enterprise. His people that works for him are a part of this shit. Okay. Were the freak offs where you ran out of baby oil? Yeah, he's typing this live, so some typos are in there. My mind, the way it thinks, if I see a typo, I'm gonna start stuttering because y'all know I have a stutter, so bear with me. Objection, Your Honor, this is irrelevant. You also mentioned Astroglide, same objection, irrelevant, sidebar. We were just talking about Astroglide. How was it used? Lubricant. If you ran out, what? Be called either staff or the bell desk, give them a tip. Were the freak offs lit? Oh, my bad, I meant like candles. Initially, it was candle strong smelling glade. Okay. I thought he meant lit like turned up or some shit, my bad. Any other candle wax a few times poured on my body. Who set the temperature of the room? Sean, I was expected to do freak offs on my period. Ugh! Did you want to do that? No. Okay. Did you want to be urinated on? Objection. Grounds. Asked and answered. Overruled. No, I did not want that. Okay. How did it feel? It was disgusting. It was too much. I choked. No one could think I wanted it. Why were you choking? Too much urine in my mouth. Who else urinated on you? Sean. Did you want Sean to urinate on you? I didn't want anyone to urinate on me. How often did it happen? Often enough. Oh yeah, you're in Miami, you cooked. I don't know you ever gonna say you didn't get pissed on no more. Because Diddy clearly loved to piss on people. Okay. So which hotel charged the most for damage for the room? They redecorated the whole room for ridiculous money. Back to urination. Back to the urination. Back to the urination. What the hell? Miss Johnson, only a few more questions. Why didn't you say no? It was obvious I didn't want to be on the ground being urinated on by two men. Wait, they was both urinated. Wait, they was urinating on you at the same time. That's when Diddy decided to join in. They have a pissing contest. Where did you find escorts? Initially Craigslist. These motherfuckers on Craigslist. Big Diddy. Y'all could be more discreet than that. In what cities did you respond to ads on Craigslist? In New York. Did you respond to ads on Backpage as well? Yes. Okay, so who directed you to communicate with escorts? Objection. Who, if anyone? Same objection. Assumes a fact, not an evidence. So did you ever reach out to escort independently? No. Did you ever not use an escort who arrived? One couldn't perform, so Sean sent him on. What was a safe escort? Not a cop. It's someone who not run to tell everyone about their experience with us. So why not a cop? I learned this whole situation was not legal. Objection. Jury would disregard that last answer. So how did Cash get there? Security or he brought it himself? So Ventura judge security or he brought it himself. The escort Dave, do you know his real name? Clayton Howard. Who is this? Photo shown to witness. Daniel. What service did you use? A dancer service. Do you recognize Jules? Yes. In what cities did you have freak offs with Jules? New York, Las Vegas, LA. Do you know his name? His last name? No. Who's this? I knew him as the Punisher. God damn. Did you use drugs at every freak off? Yes, I needed to disassociate and become emotionless. Who else used drugs at freak offs? Sean did, sometimes the escort. What other drugs did you use? Special K, GHB, and mushrooms. Listen to this right here. Pay attention to that right there. That's a key point. Her saying that she needed to use drugs to disassociate and become emotionless. Okay. Key points right there. All right. So I'll read Sean's parts of this email. You read you. When should I take the thing? When will you be there? I'm pausing. You there? What did you mean? Drugs. I took mine. I'm flying. What does he mean? He's high. Why did you take more drugs? To not be present with the experience. Why? Because it was something I hated. How did you react to ecstasy and MDMA? It will make me vomit. What would he say to continue? Did you want to continue to have intercourse when you wanted to vomit? No. How does GHB make you feel? Drunk? Tipsy? Cocaine? Makes my heart race. I'm not a huge fan. Mushrooms? The walls come alive. When the drugs ran out, how did you know who to reach out to? Sean would tell me. During the session, how would you know to move to the next step? Sean. What would happen after the escort finished on you? Sean would want it put on his body in the next room? What? Did you do that? I did. Where? Usually on his nipples. Did you want to do that? No. What? Did it? Did it? You wanted the next man juice on your nipples? Male-made milk? You wanted that male-made milk on your nipples? Ugh. Nah, I don't see how Cassie could possibly say you ain't gay, then did that shit. Look out of ears. Male-made juice, male-made milk. Okay, so he asked her, how did you feel? I was an object, being heavily objectified by men. Sometimes he would watch by FaceTime or some session recorded on your devices because they were there. If you saw them on your device, what would you do? I guess he asked her, why would some sessions be recorded on your device? She says, because they were there. If you saw them on your device, what would you do? I would delete them. Why? They were disgusting. I never wanted anyone to see them. Were Sean's devices used sometimes? Yes, I asked him to delete them. Did he? I don't know. Did you ever leave a freak off before it was over? Yes, at the Century Center Intercontinental. That's the hotel of the fight. All right. I finally had a premiere coming up and I didn't want to mess it up, but Sean hit me. She had a movie premiere. She didn't want to mess it up. So at what point did Sean hit you? Between sessions. What happened next? I got to the elevator. Next thing I knew, I was thrown to the ground. Who threw you? Sean. He grabbed me back by my neck in my hoodie. Let me show you the video. They watched the video again, okay? What are you doing here? Trying to use the hotel phone. What is Sean doing? Taking my phone and my bag. And that's it for today. All right, so we can go ahead and catch you up with what happened on the first day. Peep this real quick. So the prosecution started off with their opening statement, and basically, dog, they just let us know that Diddy was a freaking and violent man that was trafficking these women against their will to do freak offs. Okay, now they have essentially 3 to 4 victims: Cassie, a Jane Doe, a former assistant named Mia, and possibly one more victim. They're planning on showing all the footage from some of the freak offs. Okay, some of the freak offs that features Cassie and Jane Doe. Some of the male escorts will also speak, and they also gonna talk about Cassie letting the man piss in the mouth. all this shit in this courtroom. Now, the witness that they called today were the security, who's now an LAPD officer. He's the one who responded to Cassie getting beat in the hallway, all right? Now, the prosecution wanted to paint a picture that she was trying to escape from Diddy's freak off when she ran away. The dude said it was a dude that was actually in the room. He had all black on or something like that. Some type of black outfit, okay? But yeah, though, they wanted to paint a picture that Cassie was trying to leave a freak off, and Diddy was refusing to let her leave. And when he caught her, he was going through her phone and shit based on what the dude was saying in his testimony. But anytime that dude spoke on anything that Diddy said, that sounded like he told her she couldn't leave, Diddy's lawyers would quickly come and object that shit. Hearsay or something like that, all right? So now, dude also admitted that he filmed a copy of the fight on his cell phone to take home and show his wife, dog. That boy crazy as hell. Now, in cross-examination, Diddy's lawyers was on his ass for leaving out details in his incident report that he was saying on the stand. Like, you gonna say that shit here on the stand, but you didn't put it into your report. Do you usually not put all your stuff in your report? Dude, like, yeah, like, the shit ain't that really relevant. I ain't gonna put it in my report. So they like, huh, okay, but it's relevant enough to go ahead and record it to show your wife though. Huh. Now, another situation that they saying dude left out of the incident report was him pinning Diddy against the wall after Diddy was trying to like buck up on his you feel me? And he also was wondering why he didn't put in the report that Cassie didn't ask for help from the police officers. All right. As we're saying this, you guys got to keep in mind the point that they're trying to prove in front of the jury is that Cassie was not being held against her will. Okay. Now the second witness was actually an escort. All right. Male stripper, male prostitute, a professional meat slanger. Okay. That's what he was doing with his life. But based on this dude's testimony, I'm talking about the direct and cross-examination, I ain't gonna lie, dog. It seems like Cassie was a willing participant in these freak-offs. I'm gonna keep it G based on what I read. She seemed like she was into it. Now, she may have been acting to put on a good show for Diddy, who knows, but nevertheless, you know, Diddy was filming and giving instructions and making sure they ass had enough baby oil on them and shit, and making sure they doing all the role playing the right way. You know, sometimes Diddy was like, nah, take that shit back. You feel me? Take that shit back, start off from point A and run the whole scene back type shit. It was wild. It was wild. There's a whole lot of wild, freaky dicky stuff going on. But dude did say that Cassie was very assertive herself. They even flirted through text messages on other occasions and shit. And when it came down to it, she was the one, not Diddy. She was the one who asked him to piss in her mouth. Flag on the play, man. Unnecessary liquids. That was the point right there where his daughters walked about the courtroom. They couldn't take that shit.